Hello. How are you guys? I am amazing most of the time. So, sorry I'm a minute late. I have a puppy. Well, she's not a puppy anymore. She's actually 1 year old. And she decided it would be a fantastic idea to start barking like crazy. And I didn't have her, I have this remote control little buzzing device that I use on her. And since my husband's sleeping because he's on nights, I thought I better find that and get control of the situation. So sorry I'm 3 minutes late. That's not how I like to show up for you guys. But I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Valerie Besland. In case you're new to my Facebook page, I am a full time flight paramedic, part time life and weight loss coach. I specialize in life coaching for the EMS industry. And I know a thing or two about it because I have been in EMS for about 25 years and my husband has been in it for about the same time. We work at the same base as flight paramedics and it's awesome. Together, we've got 3 kids. So when I talk about losing weight and getting control of your life and how difficult it can be in this job, I really know what I'm talking about. I have 2 teenage boys, for one thing. So if you think your babies are hard, I'm telling you, teenagers are a whole new level. And then I have a tween daughter. And the drama that's been going on in my life right now is we are supposed to go on spring break on Tuesday. Getting time off together can be challenging for Drew and I because we work at the same base. And so we'd planned this trip. We're looking forward to it, pulling the kids early from school. And now we have to make some big decisions if we're really going to go or not. So, anyways, that's my drama. I wanted to talk about this topic because this is something that I am personally working on. Now, I've had some weight loss results, but I am in no way at my goal weight. So, I lost about 50 pounds and now I have been trying to navigate losing some more weight. In the meantime, gaining a little bit of weight because I still am a human and I mess it up. But you know what? I never give up. That is the difference. And that is one of the things that I really encourage everybody that I work with. It's like, we're going to make mistakes. That's just the way it is because we're humans. But you can't give up. So, what we're going to talk about today is the problem, the solution, and the obstacles. Now, if you've seen some of my other stuff, you know I normally have obstacles in between there. I'm sorry, I can't do that backwards. I normally have the problem, the obstacles, and then the solution. But we're going to change it up today. Today, we're going to talk about the problem. And I do have some notes. I have been trying to figure out the best way to do this Facebook Live stuff. Sometimes I type up notes and I look at them on my computer, but then it looks like I'm reading. Other times I've put them up like over here in the distance and then I'm constantly looking over there and that looks silly. So I have a new method. So we'll see how it works today. And hopefully someday I won't need any notes. Fingers crossed. So if you're here, I would love for you to say hello, give me a thumbs up, let me know where you're watching from or what your job is. I'd be very curious about that. If you're watching the replay, same thing. Say hello, ask me any questions. I would love to answer them. So what we're going to just dive in right now. The problem with your problem is the problem. You guys, myself included here. We focus and obsess about the problem, right? What is the problem? Well, if you're watching this, it might be your weight. You might want to be losing weight, and that's the problem. But here's what happens is that we focus on the problem. Hi, Dan. We focus on the problem. We think about the problem. We research the problem. We listen to podcasts about the problem. It's all we do is we continually think about the problem. And when we think about the problem, we think very globally or very generally about the problem. And that is actually not super helpful. So, starting today, I want you to get super specific with what you think the problem is. And then we're going to decide that we are going to not think about the problem anymore. And what we are going to do is we are going to focus on the solution. when we are involved in the problem, when we're researching it, when we're getting more information about it, you know where we're not in? The solution. So we need to get out of the problem and get to the solution. Can you imagine if we took all of that time and energy that we spend thinking about the problem, complaining about the problem, telling everybody about the problem, if we took all of that energy and time and we put it solely into the solution, y'all, we wouldn't still be overweight. Okay? So, this is one of my favorite quotes. Where focus goes, energy flows. So, as you can see, if we're always thinking about the problem, we're not thinking about the solution. And then guess what? We never get out of the problem. We don't have the time and energy to spend on the solution and overcoming the obstacles, right? All right. So, none of us have a knowledge problem. We all know what we should be eating. We know what we shouldn't be eating, right? We know the things that we should be doing and we shouldn't be doing. That's the problem. We're focused on that. We're not focused on what actions we need to take. So if we're going to get super specific, I'm just going to give you an example here. If we're going to get really specific about a problem, let's talk about overeating or overdrinking. Or maybe you're not getting enough sleep, or your lack of movement, or following your workout plan, right? Those are specific problems. Or eating a lot of sugar and flour, not eating a lot of fruits and vegetables. Sorry, my notes are sliding down. So the reason we like to stay focused on the problem, going back to that, by the way, is our brain, right? That is the one thing that kind of gets in our way about thinking about the solution is our brain. Our brain is hardwired to constantly be thinking about problems, scanning for negativity, right? It thinks it's making us safe and it's keeping us more aware so that we are not going to get harmed. And remember, our primitive brain functions on the motivational triad, which is to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and be efficient. So when we're constantly thinking about the problem, the brain thinks this is important. It thinks that the uncertainty of doing something different is dangerous. Even if it's emotional danger, it really doesn't know the difference. So it kind of likes to keep us in this problem because the uncertainty of the solution is much more painful for the brain. So just know that that's what your brain is automatically going to do. And we have to learn how to overcome that obstacle. We need to learn how to redirect our brain, which sometimes is the tricky part. I'm going to have a sip of water here and look at my notes. So if we are going to solve our problem, say of overeating, we have to exclusively focus on the solution. So what is this? Did you see my notes right there? I used one of these big sheets of paper. All right, so we have to think about the result that we want. Do we want to stop overeating? Okay, that would be a good result. If you want to find the solution to stop overeating, a good thing to do is to ask yourself a question. What can I do today to not overeat? And then you can focus on the actions that you need to take. Now, I will say, when you think a thought like, what can I do today to not overeat? How does that make you feel? For some people, it makes you feel in control or motivated or empowered. And with that feeling, that can drive us to take the necessary action to not overeat and get the result that we want, which is weight loss, or just to stop gaining weight. You know, there is these periods where we're gaining weight and we're losing weight. And a good way to start is to just stop gaining weight and sit there for a while. And from there, once we've developed some better habits, then we can go into the weight loss. Sorry, tickle in my throat. So let's think of some actions that we can do to not overeat. What do we think those could be? Well, you could measure out your food. That's a good way to not overeat. You can use a smaller plate. You can listen to your body's signal. Now, only eat when you're hungry and stop eating when you feel satisfied. What most of us do is we overeat because we're eating until all the food is gone. That's why I say eat on a smaller plate, right? If you have a smaller plate, you're not going to eat as much food. Portion control. You are right, my friend. Measuring the food ahead of time is a great way to eat less. And then after a while, you'll be able to feel that moment when you've had enough. Now, I just had one of my coaches tell me this the other day. She goes, notice next time you're eating, I want you to notice that moment when you sigh. You're like, oh, that is when you are satisfied, right? It's a perfect time to stop eating. And listen, you can always come back to the food. You can divide it in half and you can always come back to it and finish it if you feel like you're getting hungry later. But I really want you to see if you can notice that moment when you sigh when you're eating. That, my friends, is a great signal to let you know that you've had enough food. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you. Let's see. Some other things that you can do to not overeat is to not snack. Don't eat in between meals. Just eat 3 meals per day. Only eat when you're hungry. Stop when you feel satisfied. And then for most people, it's probably a good idea to have a time that you won't eat after. Like for me, I don't really like to eat after 6 p.m. for a lot of reasons, but I go to bed early, so I want to stop eating fairly early. Sorry, oh my gosh. I didn't even drink anything effervescency this morning because I didn't want to have to do that. Sorry. All right, so what is going to get in the way? What are the obstacles for us focusing on the solution? What gets in the way here, right? Why don't we do the things that we know we should be doing? Why don't we do them? Well, it's because we're making a decision. In those moments that you're going to eat or do something that you have decided you're not going to do, right? We have a moment to decide and we make a decision. So I like to think about it like this. When I say yes to ice cream and hot fudge, at the same time, I'm saying no to my goal weight. On the flip side, you can say, when your entire family is having ice cream and hot fudge sauce, you can say, I'm saying no to ice cream and hot fudge, and I'm saying yes to my goals, right? It's in those moments that we have to decide what our best decision in the moment is. We have to be in the moment. This is brilliant. Every choice is a chance for change. Now, I heard this from the most amazing book that I just listened to and bought the hard copy of the book. And it's called Chasing Cupcakes, and it's by Elizabeth Benton. And honestly, she is so good. The things that she says just like make all the sense in the world. So the big thing that she talks about is being in the moment you're in. What we do when we want to make decisions, when we want to make changes, when we want to get these results in our life, most of us in our brain goes to the past and lets us know, listen, you can't do this. You've tried this before. It's not going to work. You have no willpower. You can't do it. And then some of us, this part is me, I go to the future. Think, oh, I have so far to go. I have too much to do. I can't do it. It's too much weight to lose. It's too much, right? You can't do it. I've never been able to do it before. And so we're on both of these opposite spectrums. And where we need to be is in the moment we are in. Every choice is a chance to make change. Isn't that the most amazing thing? And then she says, learn to win the moment you're in. Every choice is a chance. You guys, these are words to live by. Because when you're in this moment and you're deciding, should I have the ice cream or should I not? How can you win the moment that you're in? Because life is always going to get in the way, right? There's always going to be exceptions. There's always going to be all the things, right? The free food at work or the free food in the EDs, right? We're always going to be around these things, but we have the choice every time of the moment that we're in to make the best decision possible. And from there, weight loss is one decision after the next. We have these small decisions that we need to make every day, several, like dozen. I don't know. I think I heard a statistic that says that the average person makes 200 decisions per day. That's a lot of decisions, right? So every decision that we make compounds and then it gets us the results that we have. Now, I want you to look at yourself right now. Look at your body or think about your weight and ask yourself, like, how did I get here? What were the decisions that I made to get to this body that I'm in right now? Are those the same decisions you want to keep making? Because you are not going to get a different result, right? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. We're not going to get this different sized body if we keep making the same decisions we've always made. So we have to let go of the past. We have to not focus on the future. And we have to learn to be present. Be where your feet are. Be in the moment that you're in. See if you can win that moment. And then when the next moment comes along, you make that decision in that moment. Because the one you made before, that one's already gone. We can only keep moving forward, right? We don't want to necessarily look to the future and feel overwhelmed, right? We don't want to go there either, but we have to know that we have to just keep making forward progress. And the way that we do that is making one decision at a time and taking the action necessary, right, to do that. And you have to decide what those actions are for you. And listen, you're not going to figure it out the first time you do it. It doesn't work that way, right? It's like this big scientific experiment that we're doing with our weight loss. For some people, they can just change what they eat and they get results. Some people can just start working out and they get results. Some people can just stop drinking diet soda and get results, right? Or upping your water. It's different for everybody, and we can't be so all or nothing. We can't be all in on the diet or the plan, or we can't be all out either. We have to find some place in the middle, right? This reminds me of what's going on in our country, in our world right now with this virus, right? There's so many drastic views on it. Neither are probably really great, right? Somewhere in the middle. This is what our brains want to do. They want to go to the extremes, always on both ends. Weight loss, coronavirus, all of the things, right? We want to be so drastic, but we don't have to be. You can make the decision to just be in the middle, right? Make the best decision that you can in the moment that you are in. All right, so anybody ask me any questions, that would be great. I'm going to recap. So the problem with our problem is that we obsess about the problem. Okay, we're going to get specific on what your problem is. If you want to lose weight, what do you need to do every day to lose weight? Is it restrict more? Is it to over-exercise? Is to do all these crazy things? No. Be in the middle, right? Figure out what you specifically need to do and then stop thinking about the problem and focus on your solution. Come up with strategies that work for you in your life for the solution to get the result that you want. And then the obstacles, my friends, the obstacles are life. So you have to just be in the moment that you're in, make the best decision that you can, and slowly over time, those results will add up to weight loss. if you're doing it right. And if you're doing it wrong, that's okay too. Our brains are very powerful and it likes to convince us that we're doing it all wrong. But if you're doing it wrong, then hopefully you just keep moving forward. That's the goal. So that's all I have for you today. It was kind of short. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, but I hope you get the overall message. If you have any questions, feel free to message me, post a question or a comment in on this page and I will get back to you. And of course, if you want to learn how to work with me one-on-one, I would be happy to talk about that because we all need a life coach. I have several of them. And I'm always working on stuff because I'm a human and I have a brain and it can go all over the place. So I hope you have it's, what day is it? It's Thursday. It's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Yay, I'm working nights all weekend. So it's going to be amazing. There's a full moon. It's Friday the 13th and everybody's going crazy um, in the world, it seems. So have a beautiful week and I will see you next time. Thank you. Bye.